us work on the poetry. There are different types of poetry. First one is your acrostic. Okay. Now acrostic is basically here the first letter of each line that spells out a what should I say, a message. Okay. So for example, you have let me show you the example. Sunshine. Okay. Today the love it speaks. Okay, so now this is the first word of acrostic. Sunshine means we are talking about the rays of the sun. The rays of the sun are shining. So that is what sunshine. Okay. Breathe it less gently forth and veil thine eyes. Now breathe it. Now breathe is, we are talking about the inhale and exhale breath, the breathing that we do. Okay. Then is something type of emotion. If that language from thy heart arise. Okay. So basically the sentences, this is a poem by Edgar Allan. Okay. Edgar Allan was a very, very famous poet. There is a poem by Edgar Allan, Annabel Lee. Okay. That is a very, very famous poem. It uses so many different emotions. It uses happiness, sadness, love, angry, all the emotions in that one poem. I will show you. Now, in this poem, basically, the poet is talking about a love, the love between Annabel Lee and the poet. Okay, and the happiness, the love that they share with each other, the happiness that they feel when they're together. And suddenly, because Annabel Lee is from a very, is from a very good background. Okay, very high background. So the people, her own people kills her because she's having an affair with the poet. The poet here in this poem is shown as a very poor person. Okay, now she's dead, and that is the that is where you will feel that emotion when it shows here. I will show you. See, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsmen came. High-born kinsmen, that shows that Annabel Lee was from a high-born family, okay, and bore her away from me to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. That means she was closed in a tomb, okay. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Now, what the author is trying to say, that it was a curse from the angels, because our love was so pure. It was so pure for each other that even the angels in the heaven, they used to envy us. Okay, so it is because of their curse this is happening with us. Okay, yes, that was the reason. Okay, that wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. Okay, and now the sadness starts. Okay, and finally at the end, for the moon ever beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so all the night tide I lie down there by the side of my darling, my life and my bride. In her, he goes there where she died, in that tomb. Okay, in her tomb by the sounding sea. Now finally, even the poet dies. Okay, by remembering her. So the whole poem, it always talks about, now, though it is only showing 5 or 6 paragraphs here, the poem is quite long. Okay, so in this poem, first it talks about the love, the happiness that they share. Then because they both get separated, and then finally she dies, the sadness, and then finally the anger is also there. Okay, and then finally the poet also dies. So in a poem, basically, you always use very, very intense emotions. Okay, so Edgar Allan Poe is a very famous poet who has written very, very famous poems also. Okay, and he uses lots of emotions. Most of his poems are about love, and they get separated. Most of his poems are of that particular emotion. Okay, clear now for everyone? Now you have ballet. Okay, ballet is basically of 4 stanzas. Okay, now in 4 stanzas, it is usually 8 lines or 4 lines. Okay, each stanza is usually 8 lines or 4 lines. But nowadays, people have started using fewer or more lines in one stanza in a ballet. Okay, usually ballet is 20-line poem. In 20 line, it is divided into 4 stanzas, and accordingly, the poets used to have, what should I say, the stanzas accordingly, the lines in the stanzas. But nowadays, the ballets can be less number of lines, or it can be more than 20 lines. Okay, because of the number of lines that the people are using in each stanza. Okay, so this is one example by Edwin Robinson. Down by the flash of the restless water, the dim white ship like a white bird lay, laughing laughing at life and the world they sought her, and out by the swung to the silvering bay. Now, can you see there is something A B A B B C B C something written here like this? So the water, her, lay, bay, way, flying, line. So the type of rhythms, the rhymes that the poet is using, it shows that they are using the similar rhyming patterns. Okay, it is not compulsory. Now suppose if the poet is using A B A B, the next one should be A, correct? But it is not compulsory. You can accordingly rhyme. Maybe you want to rhyme with this particular word, you can rhyme that also. You want to use some new word and then later on rhyme it again with some other word, you can do. So whenever you start a new word at the end, it will be a new alphabet. Okay, so that is your A, B, A, B, B, C. You will see all these things in other poems also. Okay, now this is what is free verse. Free verse is basically something that is, that does not have any rhymes, that does not have any type of, rhythm. These are something called as the open form of poetry. Okay, that is what is free verse. In this, it does not have any consistency also at the same time. Okay, here you will not see any metered patterns. Okay, something like 4 lines, or say if there are 2 stanzas, so one stanza is 4 lines, then usually it is supposed to be the second para is also 4 lines. In free verse, it is not like that. If first para is 4 lines, sorry, first stanza is 4 lines, then second stanza can be 2 lines, 6 lines, 4 lines again. Okay, it really doesn't matter. So that is your free verse. Here you can express your feelings. Okay, you can express any type of emotion, but you will not use any poetic techniques here. Okay, so you use a natural speech. That is what is free verse. Okay, so this is like the light keeper is one of them, the brilliant kernel of the night, the flaming light room circles me, I sit within a blaze of light, held high above the dusky sea. Okay, now see 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, now if we check out here, now this is a full stop. Okay, after this 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, after 6 lines there is a full stop. This is one full stop. 1 2 3 4th is the full stop. Here the 6th line is the full stop. Okay, far off the surf both break and roar along bleak miles of moonlit shore, where through the tides the tumbling wave falls in an avalanche of foam and drives its churned waters home up many an under cliff and cave. Okay, so this is Robert Louis' poem about the light keeper, where he's trying to say about a place where there are different types of people there. Okay, and he's talking about the light keeper there. There is a movie also on this. I don't remember. It's a cartoon movie on this particular poem. Okay. Then you have haiku. Okay. Now there are 2 types of poems, haiku and tanka. Okay. Haiku and tanka. These 2 are basically Japanese forms of poem. It is something, it is believed that the poems started from haiku and tanka, the writing of the poems. Okay. They are so old. It is believed that. Now, haiku is basically, they use 3 lines here. Okay, they use 3 lines and 17 syllables. Okay, and because of a very what should I say, very less number of lines, there is a lot of attention that is given to to different types of emotions like you have, they talk about landscape, the beautiful landscape, rivers, flowers. Okay, beauty of a particular place or a person. They use such type of poems to describe the the physical appearance and the emotions that they can use for that place or a person or anything. Okay, that is what is haiku. This is basically a Japanese poem. The famous poet that used to write lots of haiku and tanka poems was Basho Matsuo. Okay, Basho Matsuo is, you will read lots of his poems once again. Yeah, it's his poem. Okay, from time to time, the cloud gives rest to the moon beholders, the old pond, a frog jumps in, sound of water. This is what is a haiku. Here they are talking about the night, okay, the evening time. From time to time, the clouds give rest to the moon beholders. That means now the moon is bright, is shining bright because clouds are not there. Clouds give it rest. Okay, clouds are not available, it's not seen in the sky. So moon is shining bright, and you can see in that old pond a frog is jumping, and as it jumps inside, the sound of water is there. Okay, so you can imagine those things. So these poems used to work a lot on imaginations. Okay, clear for everyone? Okay. Now tanka. Tanka is basically tan, T-A-N. Tan means short, and ka means song. So it's a short song. Okay, that is tanka. It uses 5 lines. Okay, and there are 31 syllables. In haiku, it was 3 lines and 17 syllables. In tanka, it is 5 lines and 31 syllables. Okay, so that is what is your tanka. Now, one more example for this is roses and larkspur and slender serried lilies. I wonder whether these are worth your attention. Consider it, and if not. Okay, so now here Amy is talking about 2 types of, 3 types of flowers here: roses, larkspur, and lilies. Okay, and now she's asking that I don't know how they, though they are very beautiful, but whether it will be worth your attention or not. If it is not, then leave it. If it is there, then consider it. Okay, look at the beauty. That is what is tanka. Okay, yeah, most of the Japanese, if you listen to Japanese songs, okay, old songs, they're all based on haiku and tanka. In the whole song, those 3 lines or 5 lines are repeated. The music is there, okay, but those 3 or 5 lines are always in repetition. Okay, clear? Now you have sonnet. Sonnet is basically, sonnet only uses one stanza. That one stanza has 14 lines. Okay, and each line use 10 syllables. Okay, that means each line has at least 10 to 12 words, and the sound that it makes, it is almost 10 syllables. That is a sonnet. Okay, you have 2 types of sonnet. One is English sonnet and the other is Shakespeare sonnet. Shakespeare used to write lots of sonnet for his plays. Okay, and out of a Shakespeare sonnet, to make it a bit easy for normal people to understand, many poets, they changed it to English. They changed the words there, so they became English sonnet. Okay, nowadays lots of people, they write sonnets and they are called as English sonnets. Okay, these the sonnets have only one stanza. One stanza has got 14 lines. Each line has got 10 syllables. Okay, there are some qualities, some incorporate things. Okay, again Edgar Allan is there, that have a double life, which thus is made a type of that twin entity which springs from matter and light, evinced in solid and shade. There is a twofold silence, sea and shore, body and soul. One dwells in lonely places, newly with grass overgrown, some solemn graces, some human memories and tearful lore. Okay, so this is basically your sonnet. Okay, these are 14 lines, and this is one sonnet. In this the dramas, this musical dramas that you watch, okay, they use lots of sonnet. So one person, they have monologues. Remember we discussed about monologues and dialogues. Okay, so they have one monologue. So one person, one sonnet they sing. Okay, and these sonnets are usually sung by the actors and actresses there. Okay, the characters they are playing on the stage. Okay, so Shakespeare, this Romeo and Juliet. Basically, if you see the first Romeo and Juliet that Shakespeare wrote, he used a lot of sonnets there. Okay, because sonnets are very, very emotional in nature. The emotions that people use while writing sonnet is because of the space, the number of lines that you have, so you can easily express your emotions. Okay, now there are a couple of few things that I want to tell you. One is cinquain. Okay, now cinquain is basically a 5-lined poems. These are, say, these cinquains, they're inspired by this haiku and tanka. Okay, because haiku and tanka also are 3 to 5 lines. So these cinquains are inspired by them. And one verse, okay, one verse, it uses I think something around 28 or 30 cinquains. Okay, one verse. They one verse, basically the song, okay, that people use in this poems and all. Okay, the rhythmic poems, they use at least 28 to 30 cinquains there. Okay, then there is something called as limericks. Okay, you might have heard it if you have gone to this comedy shows. Okay, so these limericks are basically, these are humorous poems. Okay, they can be rude also sometimes, sarcastic also. If you have noticed, or if you have seen this the road shows that people do, the skits, road skits, yeah, they use a lot of limericks there. Okay, the way that they talk about politics, they talk about the poverty, maybe the political and social issues, they use a lot of limericks there. Okay, so these are the two things which are not included here, but I wanted to tell you. Okay, clear now for everyone about types of poems.